Hey, what's up, guys? Ashby at Ashby Farms, and here it is, March the 18th today, 2025, and I'm coming to you today about a key piece of woodenware that we use, and I just kind of want to discuss the value of it for you at home. And of course, that piece is the double screen board. Just to give you a quick rundown, this is how I make mine, and to discuss why I make them like this. So if you look at this particular piece right here, there's a total of 5. There's 1, 2, 3, and then you've got 4 and 5 down low. And I end up with that as an excess cutoff from my 10 frame box when I'm assembling them from raw wood. And then I do a 3/8 riser right here, all the way around. So this is going to be their entrance right here, and of course, that riser goes the full length. One of the advantages of this piece of equipment is if you've got a strong colony below, then you can start a weak colony up top. You can't do a walkaway split up top because with the heat, some of the queen's pheromone comes through and they don't realize they're queenless up top. But if you take your queen from down low and you put her up top, the foragers will come home, start a whole bunch of cells, and then you can come back in 1 week and just flip-flop the boxes. And at that point, then your queen cell up top, or one of your queen cells up top, will go ahead and hatch out and leave and come back. And then you'll end up with a second colony. And one of the advantages is if your split up top is what we call a no-take, where say the queen goes out and gets eaten by a dragonfly or something and doesn't make it home, all you have to do is pull the double screen board out, and the lower queen right colony will absorb the drone laying worker that will be created above. So there's quite a bit of efficiency there. So I make mine with screws. You got a screw here. Sorry guys, the brightness. There we go. Screw there. A screw there. I do use this, being that this is right on the edge, like right here. I use a countersink bit. So if I can zoom in, get a good sunlight. There you go. And it creates a perfect hole for a screw. Say something like this right here, where the head on it's tapered, like that. And then you'll see these crown staples here. These are a medium crown staple. It measures 1 inch by 7/16. We buy them by the case of like 10,000 at a time. You've got one long piece. So to turn around here, these are all the screens. That's what I've been doing. And again, the most efficient way to build this is just do the same step, the same cut. So you got one long piece of screen, and it folds over literally like my hand. So around here. And I always do my entrance on this side, and the reason being, this gives like a screen landing, something for the bees to grab onto whenever they're for both the bees and the queens coming home. So as you can see, I've been a little bit busy. We cut a whole bunch of these shims right here. It's a 3/8 shim. That's the short side. And then we'll take a bunch of these and just lop off another roughly 1.5 inches for the entrance. This is the long side stack here. And we cut literally just thousands of pieces. I want to show you kind of what I'm doing. So this is the ultimate take your finger off, hand off, ruin an ankle grinder. And advantage of this is I've got some 1x1s. So let me zoom in here on the floor right here. That's a stop plate. And then I've got 2 right here as well, as you can see. And what I do is that's a pre-measured distance. And then when I'm standing right here on either side of this roll, I just run my blade right down the middle right here, and it gives me a perfect cut every time. And then what I did, let's see if we can zoom in on it here. Yep, there it is. I put took a pencil and I drew on the floor, and that's where the corner is supposed to go, right there. If the corner is right there on my piece when I turn it 90 degrees, then I wind up with the same cut every single time. which if I'm not mistaken, I have to do the exact measurements, but I want to say it's 41.5 by 18. And this rough edge on this side, I face towards me. And what I do is I pull it out from over there on the workbench. I pull that piece of metal out and I just fold it over 1 inch. And so I fold it under, and then I don't have all this jaggedness hanging out from one side. So let's see if I can identify. Yeah, here it is. So you see where it's folded under right here. It's a double piece of screen, and then you get a nice smooth edge right here. And then it's not sticking out all along this edge being jagged. So I'm in the process. I've already got back here, this is 2 stacks. You can see it right back over there. So that's 100. And then this here is pieces. So I build out my framework like this. And then this will be my completed stack going up right here. And yeah, that's a double screen board. So as always, safety, I always joke and say safety third, but really anytime you're using a grinder, don't, they say your safety squints like this, don't do safety squints. Get a good pair of safety glasses, good set of headphones, protect your ears on that one. And, just always use caution anytime you're using them. We're using pneumatic air guns and all that, but to me, double screen boards don't have to be all that fancy. None of my equipment's really fancy. It's more about like practical use. And when you look at the cost of building a double screen board, so there's 9 total pieces. There's 5 for the framework. There's 4 for the 3/8 riser. And when you look at the cost, so this is all scrap wood to me. So I'm able to turn my scrap then even into something. And the other advantage too is, let me flip around. So my scraps are already cut to length and the inside dimension from here to here to the width. So all I have to do is run it along a table saw for a 3/8 cut, and then I get this piece and I get this piece at the same time. And this inside, width varies because as the wood dries, now you remember I have all raw cut lumber, and it doesn't all shrink up to the same size. So in this case, I'm just able to take my scraps and put them into play. And when I look at the cost then, because my it's scrap wood, I wasn't really planning on using it. And I think about how many fire pits we've had and how much of those scrap pieces I burned. Like, man, what an idiot I was the last couple of years. But when I look at the cost then, I've got right at $1.20 in it. So that's screws, the 6 screws, the wax to wax dip it, and then like $1.10 in screen. So for $1.20 a pop, I can build 500 for $600. It's kind of a no-brainer. Whereas if you use plywood as the big piece with just a couple of small holes in the middle, plywood, of course, is staggeringly expensive. You're probably in the $8 to $9 range for a double screen board. So a lot of times when we're talking about this little amount of wood, if you're just needing 10 or 20 at home as a hobbyist or something, you can go buy a construction site and get all of your scraps for free. Order a big roll of screen, and then you're set. You're good to go. So guys, I hope that double screen board idea is going to resonate with you. Again, if you think about all the advantages of it, let's say you come up on a colony that's full of swarm cells. If you can't find the queen, just put a swarm cell above and a swarm cell below, make a split, and usually one of those 2 queens will come home, and then you could recombine the queenless one. If you end up then in that case in both of your swarm cells queens come home, now you've got 2 colonies. Lots of advantage. If we look at, say, making a split above a double screen board, if you go in right around the middle, halfway through your nectar flow. So our nectar flow here runs like April 15th through June 1st. And so if we go in right around May 1st, May 5th, and we just middle of the day, take that top colony off of the double screen board and just go put it somewhere else in the yard, all the foragers come home to the parent location. Now you have a colony and a half of foragers in that lower unit, and it'll make you more honey. So lots and lots of advantages to using a double screen board. I'll show you some of that in practice in the field. coming up. But if you've enjoyed today's video, please subscribe and like. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks.